This is a film I like truly enjoy. Salt Lake City Punk is most definitely a cult classic. It it's a really awesome movie. It revolves around obviously the punk rock subculture and those who partake in that kind of that sort of subculture. And I have like totally been a fan of this film since I was like 14. Like I never ever heard of this film until I watched a trailer for it on on a video cassette copy of the horror comedy Idle Hands, which is a guilty pleasure for me. I have it on DVD, but I rented it on VHS when I was like 13, and I remember I saw a trailer for this movie. This was actually a Red Band trailer. You know, well, this movie had a Red Band trailer for it. Yeah, it showed like more explicit scenes from the film, but this this film is like really enjoyable, and you don't have to be like a punk rock fan to like truly enjoy this movie. Like I'm mostly a metal guy, but I also dig punk rock, particularly like classic punk. So like I said, this movie revolves around like the punk rock, subculture, and but it also, there are moments in the film that like explore how like punk rockers do not like they don't like consolidate with other people from like different tribes. I mean, at some point there is a particular scene where like the lead character Steve-O, played by Matthew Lillard, Stu from the original Scream, he talks about like the different tribes, punk rockers, like neo Nazis, and the rednecks, and like the metalheads. They do not like get along with the metalheads because I guess they don't like fit the they don't have like the same fashion as they do. Punk rockers, they got like spiked hair, and like metalheads like have like more longer hair, and like they wear like like flannel shirts, and like I don't consider myself like I wouldn't say like this is a movie that like it discourages people from like joining a certain subculture, but like I said, I am like a total fan of both punk and metal, but the lead characters in this film, that's basically all they listen to is just hardcore punk, and like basically, and they don't care for like new wave either, but I still pretty much enjoy this movie. But like I said, this is like one of my all-time favorite cult classics of the late 90s. See, like as a fan of both like punk rock and heavy metal, I used to own like old compilation albums, from like I used to own like two like Headbangers Ball CDs, that featured like a variety of metal bands from different metal subgenres, and like I only owned like the first two. I didn't. They had like at least three compilation albums that came out. I did not own the third one. I only owned the first two, and the second one was actually pretty awesome. I miss MTV2 Headbangers Ball. The one that was hosted by Jamie Josta from Hatebreed. But like I owned like other hard rock compilation albums. The Family Values tour, 1999. With Korn, Limp Bizkit, and Primus and Filter. That CD had like all those bands that I just mentioned. But I used to own like I'm not sure if they do not do that anymore, but I remember they used to like come out with like his compilation CDs of like mostly punk music called PUNK-O-RAMA. They made like 11 compilation albums, all of which have like strictly punk music, you know. Well, and like some that are like you know, like garage rock that have like a bit of a punk sound, but it's mostly like strictly hardcore punk. Like there's, you know, they came out with, you know, they had like songs, you know, from certain bands that, you know, certain songs that were never like played on the radio, but were basically, you know, on the band's like regular albums, you know, before the Punk-O-RAMA CDs came out. You know, bands ranging from like, you know, NoFX, Rancid, Bad Religion, Dropkick Murphys. Yeah, they like contributed to those albums, and I used to own like two of them, and I couldn't tell you which volumes that I remember owning, but I do remember that I owned like two of them. I didn't own the rest, but they came, like I said, they came out with like 11 compilation albums. But this is one of the bands that appeared on like a few of those compilation albums. This is a band called the International Noise Conspiracy. It is a like a mix between like garage punk and straight up garage rock, and like, you know, a little bit of like indie rock, you know. And a few of their songs, they appeared on like Punk-O-RAMA, and that's how I recognized, you know, the title of this band, you know, because they appeared on those albums. And I picked this one album up from you know, half price books in Schaumburg for only $2, and this is actually their first studio album, Survival Sickness, and it was released under Burning Heart Records. Yeah, like I truly enjoy this band. Like I seriously think that they're like one of the most underrated bands that I've ever heard in my life. Like it's like there's like barely any like publicity about them, and I'm not sure, I don't think that they are together anymore, but like I said, this is like the only album that I own of them. They have like 3 other albums, but this album is like I said, it's their debut album, and I really enjoy this band. They have the lead singer actually was originally from the band Refused. Before after the band after Refused broke up, the lead singer like formed this band, and Refused is actually one of the other bands that appeared on Punk-O-RAMA, you know, back in the day, and I actually own one of their albums. Their song "Coup d'Etat," I don't know how to express that term, but that song was actually one of the songs that appeared on one of the compilations that I owned, you know. And so he formed this band. They have like a more like a left-wing philosophy to go with their songs, so I guess you can say that they're like the Oliver Stone of punk rock, because like, you know, Oliver Stone also has like, you know, leftist views on like, you know, politics and whatnot. I mean, not that I would agree, but like I agree with that sort of like political stance. But you know, I don't give a shit about politics, honestly. I just only give a fuck of whether the music sounds good or not. See, like and this particular, like Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine, he's a leftist and he's a vegan and whatnot. He's, you know, Rage Against the Machine is known for like talking about like, you know, issues with politics and whatnot. You know, that's just one way to put it. And you know, there's some, you know, other bands with musicians that share that same kind of, you know, political views. But like I said, I don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. I only care about the music. I don't give a fuck about their politics. I don't give a shit what religion they're a part of. I only care about, you know, their music. I only care about the movies. I only care if the shit sounds good, or if a particular movie by like a certain director is good or not. And this band, like I said, they do like talk about a lot of like left wing kind of stuff, but like I said, it's still a pretty awesome band to listen to. They're like a bit similar to the band The Sounds. Like I have two of their albums, but this is like The Sounds is a little louder, in regards to their sound, and like but that's not saying that this band is you know like uh, like easy listening in comparison to The Sounds, but either way, this is an excellent band. I strongly recommend it. They're also, I guess you can say they're kind of like the Black Keys, but what's another good garage rock group that I like? There's also Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and although this is like a more punkish, they're more punk than garage rock. So like their song "Smash It Up" is actually their one single that's on this album. They have a music video for it. If you want to like check it out, you can. And I would strongly recommend this band. I would strongly recommend this particular album. This is their debut album, like I said. And like I said, they were, in other shit, they were on like PUNK-O-RAMA albums, and their other songs, from other albums, they appeared in PUNK-O-RAMA as well. And so, if you're into like, garage punk or like garage rock, if you like, just like a mix between like Black Keys and the Ramones, I would say that this is a good pickup. I would say that this is a band to like definitely get into. And I've been wanting to like own an album from them for a while because I really dig garage rock. That's like one of my favorite genres. And so if for those of you who are in the same, like I said, if you're like into that shit, I would check this particular band up. Watch them on YouTube, or just just pick up an album if you see one, and just give it a listen. I mean, and see what you think. The International Noise Conspiracy. Their debut album, Survival Sickness, released in 2000 through Burning Heart Records. Thanks for watching.